We are the only species that knows we will die. Think about that for a moment. Every other creature on this planet lives in the present moment, responding to immediate threats and opportunities. But we humans carry something different, a burden of consciousness that sets us apart. This knowledge of our own mortality has shaped everything: our art, our religions, our philosophies, our entire civilization. But it has also created something else, something darker. A massive marketplace that profits from our existential anxiety. Today, we're going to dissect this system scientifically, examining how evolutionary anxiety, religious institutions, and the modern guru industry all converge to exploit the most fundamental human fear. Let's start with what you actually are. Right now, in this precise moment, you are metabolizing the cosmos. Biologically speaking, you are a self-organizing, energy-processing system. You're not a static object, you're a process. You are a temporary organization of atoms that is continuously replacing itself. Every cell in your body regenerates over time. The atoms that make up your body today were once part of stars, part of the earth, part of other living things. You are quite literally made of stardust, temporarily arranged in this particular pattern. But here's where it gets interesting. Here's the anomaly. Unlike other matter, unlike rocks or water, or even most other living things, this system, that is, you, possesses something extraordinary. Reflective self-awareness and time consciousness. We don't just exist, we know we exist. We model our own existence. We think about thinking. We are aware of being aware. We are matter that is somehow turned back upon itself to witness its own being. This is the miracle and the curse of human consciousness. Now let's talk about how our consciousness creates suffering. Animals experience immediate biological threat. Watch a gazelle on the African savanna. When a lion appears, the gazelle runs. The threat is present, concrete, happening right now. Once the gazelle escapes, the threat is over. The animal returns to grazing. There's no lingering anxiety, no rumination about what might have been. But humans? We operate completely differently. We don't just respond to present danger. We contemplate extinction itself. We imagine future non-existence. Right now, sitting safely wherever you are, you can think about your death and feel fear. We rehearse loss before it arrives. We worry about relationships ending before there's any sign of trouble. We foresee the end of our projects, the dissolution of everything we build. We know that everything we love will eventually be taken from us, including our own lives. This cognitive capacity is evolution's double-edged sword. On one hand, it enables incredible things: art that moves us, science that extends our lives, philosophy that helps us understand existence. But it also produces a unique byproduct that no other species experiences: existential terror. The fear not just of dying, but of having existed at all. The anxiety of meaninglessness. This is the human condition. And so, throughout human history, systems emerged to answer this terror. Across cultures, across continents, across thousands of years, three fundamental promises appeared again and again. First, continuity. The promise that death is not really the end. Heaven, reincarnation, eternal life, the resurrection of the body. Different cultures package it differently, but the message is the same. You will continue. Second, meaning. The promise that suffering serves a purpose, that your pain is part of a larger plan, that everything happens for a reason, that there's a divine intelligence orchestrating events according to some grand design, that your struggles are tests, lessons, opportunities for spiritual growth. Third, order. The promise that chaos is merely an illusion, that beneath the apparent randomness of existence there is structure, divine will, cosmic justice, that good people are ultimately rewarded and bad people are ultimately punished, that the universe makes sense. Now, here's the critical analysis. From an anthropological and psychological perspective, these are not necessarily truths. We cannot empirically verify them. They are psychological buffers, evolutionary survival strategies designed to maintain sanity in creatures cursed with the knowledge of their own impermanence. They may be true, they may not be, but their primary function is to make existence bearable. There were original inquirers who understood this distinction. Gautama Buddha, for example, explicitly rejected metaphysical speculation. He wasn't interested in whether gods existed or what happens after death. He focused on something more practical, the psychology of awareness, the nature of suffering, and how to reduce it in this life. He investigated the mechanics of the mind. Jesus of Nazareth, if we look at his actual teachings stripped of centuries of institutional interpretation, emphasized inner transformation and ethical reform. He challenged religious authority. He questioned ritual obedience divorced from compassion. He taught direct relationship with the divine rather than through priestly intermediaries. These were investigators of existence. They asked questions. They explored. They challenged. But here's where the corruption occurred. The institutions that formed after them converted inquiry into dogma. Living questions became dead answers. The goal shifted from, "Let us investigate existence together. Let us discover truth through direct experience," to, "Here is the final answer. Stop questioning. Believe what we tell you." Truth is not comforting. Comfort is not truth. The original inquirers knew this. The institutions that followed forgot it, or deliberately obscured it for the purpose of control. So the question becomes, why do we fall for it? Why do intelligent, educated, otherwise skeptical people surrender their discernment to gurus, to charismatic leaders, to spiritual authorities who claim absolute knowledge? It's easy to dismiss it as stupidity or ignorance, but that's not accurate. It's not about lack of intelligence. It's about the unbearable weight of inner conflict. The human nervous system has fundamental needs: certainty in an uncertain world, belonging in the face of isolation, authority to relieve us from the burden of constant decision-making. These aren't weaknesses. They're features of how our brains evolved. We're social primates who survived by forming cohesive groups with clear hierarchies. The product being sold by spiritual marketplaces is emotional reassurance and a sense of chosen identity. You are special. You are saved. You are on the right path while others are lost. It feels good. It reduces anxiety. It provides community. But here is the trap. The consumer's need is not for truth. It is for stability, for relief, for someone to tell them it's all going to be okay. And the marketplace, whether it's traditional religious institutions or modern self-help gurus, has learned to package this relief as enlightenment, to sell comfort as if it were wisdom. Let's map out exactly how this exploitation works. Watch the cycle carefully. It starts with a lost person, someone experiencing fear of death, isolation, meaninglessness, the standard existential anxieties we've discussed. They're in pain. They're seeking relief. Then comes the guru's promise of absolute certainty. I have the answer. I have discovered the truth. Follow me. Follow this teaching. Follow this practice, and you will be saved. The key word is absolute. Not tentative wisdom, not helpful suggestions, but complete, final, unquestionable truth. Next, a false equivalence occurs in the mind of the seeker. Certainty feels like truth. The relief that comes from having answers feels so good that the brain mistakes this feeling for validation. This must be true because it makes me feel better. But comfort and truth are not the same thing. Dependency forms. The guru becomes the regulator of your emotional states. You return again and again for that feeling of certainty, for reassurance, for the relief of not having to hold uncertainty. Your emotional well-being becomes tied to this external source, and then exploitation follows, financial extraction from the vulnerable. Courses, seminars, retreats, books, private sessions, ascending levels of initiation that require ascending levels of payment. And the cycle reinforces itself, feeding on itself, creating devoted followers who then recruit others. This is how fear becomes revenue. Gurus exploit what I call the existential triad: our fear of death, meaninglessness, and isolation. They package simple answers to complex cosmic questions, and this is fear-mongering disguised as enlightenment. Let's make an uncomfortable distinction that most people don't want to acknowledge. There are two fundamentally different approaches to belief and understanding, and we need to be honest about which one we're engaging with. Comfort-based belief is adopted primarily to reduce anxiety. It asks, what do I need to believe to feel better? Its domain is the guru, the spiritual marketplace, what I call spiritual theater, performances of enlightenment that prioritize feeling good over being accurate. Truth-based inquiry, on the other hand, is pursued even when the answers are disturbing, even when they don't provide comfort. It asks, what is actually true, regardless of how it makes me feel? Its domain is science, philosophy, genuine investigation, methods that follow evidence even when it leads somewhere uncomfortable. One soothes, the other investigates. One prioritizes your emotional state, the other prioritizes accuracy. And here's the crucial point. These are not the same thing. Confusing them, treating comfort as if it were evidence of truth, is precisely how exploitation occurs. It's how intelligent people end up believing things that crumble under scrutiny. Now let's talk about what cognitive science and neuroscience reveal about the self, because this directly contradicts what most spiritual marketplaces are selling. The research is clear. The self is not a fixed thing. It's not a permanent soul or essence sitting somewhere in your brain or body. Instead, it's a continuously updated narrative model generated by brain processes. Your sense of being a consistent, unchanging you across time is actually an illusion, A very useful illusion, but an illusion nonetheless, created by memory systems and narrative construction. Who you are right now is different from who you were 10 years ago, and the person reading this is different from the person who woke up this morning. But the brain creates the experience of continuity. Here's the conflict. Gurus claim to save your soul, to protect your eternal essence, to ensure the survival of your true self. But science suggests that the thing they are saving is a mental construct, a pattern of neural activity, not an immortal entity. It's like offering to save your reflection in a mirror. And here's the fascinating part. This aligns with early Buddhist thought before it became institutionalized. The doctrine of anatta, or no self, says there is no fixed core, only processes. No eternal essence, only continuous becoming. You are more like a river than a rock, constantly flowing, constantly changing, while maintaining a recognizable pattern. What if there is no script? Let's sit with this question for a moment, because it's the question that most spiritual marketplaces are designed to prevent you from asking. What if there is no guaranteed cosmic narrative? No predetermined story that your life is following. No divine scoreboard keeping track of your good deeds and bad deeds. What if there's no pre-assigned meaning etched into the fabric of reality, waiting for you to discover it? What if the universe is not designed with you in mind at all? The reality is likely this. Meaning is not discovered like buried treasure waiting for you to dig it up. It must be constructed, created, authored. This is a radically different paradigm. You are not on a treasure hunt following a map. You are the author writing the story, the artist creating the meaning through your choices and relationships and actions. This thought terrifies the ego. The ego wants to be told it matters cosmically, that the universe recognizes its importance, that there's a higher power paying attention to its struggles. But what if that's not true? What if you're not the center of a cosmic drama? Here's the paradox. Accepting this offers something radical, total creative responsibility. If meaning isn't given to you by external authority, then you have complete freedom to create it. You're not finding your purpose, you're inventing it. And that's both terrifying and liberating. So if meaning isn't cosmically assigned, where does it come from? Let's ground this in biology and actual human experience. We are ultra-social primates. This isn't philosophy, this is evolutionary biology. Our nervous systems literally co-regulate with each other. When you're with someone calm, you become calmer. When you're with someone anxious, you feel their anxiety. We are not isolated individuals. We are nodes in a network. The source of meaning is not in abstract cosmic promises sold by prophets. It's found in lived engagement with people who matter to you, with work that challenges you, with nature that humbles you, with the unfolding mystery of your own awareness. Meaning emerges in relationship with what is actually here, what is actually present, not in fantasies about what lies beyond. Think about the moments in your life that have felt most meaningful. Were they abstract metaphysical insights? Or were they moments of deep connection? Moments of overcoming challenges? Moments of creating something? Moments of witnessing beauty? Moments of helping someone? Meaning is relational, not magical. It arises from engagement, not from belief. Here's what you need to understand about choice. You cannot choose your genetics. You didn't select your brain chemistry, your predispositions, your innate temperament. You cannot choose your eventual death. It's coming whether you want it to or not. These are not in your control. But you can choose your response. This is the domain of actual freedom. Not freedom from circumstances, but freedom in how you meet them. As Jiddu Krishnamurti observed, choiceless observation is the beginning of intelligence. The ability to see what is without immediately imposing your preferences, your judgments, your need for it to be different. True maturity is facing uncertainty without anesthetic beliefs, without needing to numb yourself with comforting stories that may not be true. The courage is not in adopting a belief system that makes you feel better. The courage is in looking directly at what is, the beauty and the horror, the meaning and the meaninglessness, the connection and the isolation, without needing to filter it through desperate hope or nihilistic despair. This is authentic engagement with existence, not mediated by ideology, not softened by fantasy, but direct contact with reality as it actually is. So what is a human being, really? Strip away the mythology, the religious narratives, the comforting stories. What's left? This. A conscious process that knows it will end and must decide how to live anyway. The essence of being human is not immortality. It's not having an eternal soul or being the most important thing in the universe. The essence is this: being a fragile, temporary pattern of existence that has the unique capacity to care, to love, even knowing that loss is inevitable, to create, even knowing that everything decays, to seek beauty, even knowing that beauty fades, to witness both the cruelty and the tenderness of existence with equal clarity. You are not eternal. Your body will fail, your memories will dissolve, the people who remember you will also die, and eventually it will be as if you never existed at all. But you are unrepeatable. This exact configuration of genetics, experiences, relationships, choices, it has never happened before and will never happen again. You are a unique expression of the universe's possibility, and that is enough. It has to be enough, because it's all there is. Here's the most radical position you can take. Not God exists. Not God doesn't exist. Not I have found the truth, or there is no truth. The most radical position is this: I do not know, and I am willing to live honestly with that uncertainty. This is harder than it sounds. The pressure to choose a side, to plant your flag, to declare certainty is enormous. Society rewards people who speak with confidence. Gurus and leaders who say, "I know," attract followers. Admitting uncertainty looks like weakness. But it's not weakness. It's intellectual honesty. It's the willingness to hold the discomfort of not having final answers. It's the maturity to say, the universe is vast and strange. Consciousness is mysterious. Death remains unknown, and I can live with not knowing. Reject the exploitation of fear. Reject the marketplace that trades in false certainty, that sells you answers they cannot possibly have. Reject the guru who claims to have solved the mystery of existence. Embrace instead the responsibility of constructing your own meaning in relationship with what is real, what is present, what is actually here in your life. So here's the invitation. fully inhabit being human. Not the sanitized version that religions often present, the immortal soul, the chosen being, the cosmic protagonist. Not the fantasy that you're here for some grand, predetermined purpose known by higher powers. Inhabit the actual thing, mortal, uncertain, magnificent in its fragility, terrible in its awareness, utterly unrepeatable. Be the creature that knows it will die and loves anyway, that sees meaninglessness as a possibility and creates meaning anyway, that faces isolation and connects anyway. This is the only truth that cannot be sold to you, because it cannot be packaged, cannot be simplified, cannot be reduced to a formula or a 10-step program. This is the only freedom that cannot be taken away, because it comes from accepting reality as it is, not as you wish it to be. Live with courage. Live with honesty. Live with compassion for yourself and others who are also navigating this strange, brief existence. And when someone offers you certainty, when someone promises to eliminate your doubt and fear, remember, they are selling comfort, not truth. The mystery remains, and that's exactly as it should be.